Good evening, everyone, fellow fan duelers, followers, newcomers to the channel. This is Grade A Fantasy, ready for a preview of Week 11 on FanDuel. This looks like an exciting 11-game slate, so let's jump right into it. We'll start, once again, I'm going to start, reverse sense, because the first thing I noticed was, yes, the Dallas Cowboys are once again at 5,200. Obviously, last week they did not come anywhere near close to becoming the value, or at least equaling what their value was. Here's the reason why. You have to understand. I think Brian Dable knew that with what they had to be careful with the way they were moving the ball. Danny DeVito obviously at a huge disadvantage, not the most highly skilled quarterback. So they pretty much played a safe, convenient game. Only one turnover. Yeah, they got the 5 sacks, but as I said last week, if you're gonna get a lot of sacks, you at least needed a couple of other other peripherals. You needed the fumble recoveries, maybe a strip sack. If you was gonna get all that, you probably was gonna need like an interception or two to make that. If you wasn't gonna get the touchdown, like I said, once you get up that high, you're gonna need the touchdown. And once they didn't get the touchdown, they completely busted. I mean, like everybody else, I was highly on Dallas. I made sure I got to them, but I also got different or whatever with upside defense, which I thought were like Steelers and other matchups such as so much in that forth. But this week is a little different because with the struggling offense and Bryce Young struggling at quarterback, and they are letting him throw the ball, he is definitely more prone. They're definitely giving him more attempts than the Giants were going to give DeVito. So if there is a chance this week for the Cowboys to at least become the optimal defense, and like I said, defense is so volatile at 5,200, it is a lot. But if there's a chance that they have to become the optimal defense, it would be this week. Bryce Young throwing many interceptions and turning over the ball, and that's what you need. They are letting him drop back and throw passes. So I do like the Dallas defense this week at 5,200. Will I be heavy on them like I was before? No, not like last week, but I'm definitely going to make sure I still get to them. You have to understand, like, he's actually struggling a lot right now. And like I said, it's the growing pains of a rookie. He's obviously not grasping it or adjusting as smooth as Stroud is. But here's the reason why you would want the Dallas defense against Bryce Young. 38 pass attempts, 39 pass attempts, 30, 38, 41, 32, 33. So as you can see here, you're going to get many opportunities for the sacks, but you're also going to get the opportunities for the interceptions. Bryce Young only has, I think in the 8 games he's played, 8-9 games, half has at least had 1 to 2 interceptions. Very turnover prone. Doesn't really fumble the ball. Well, obviously he has a fumble here and there, but what you're looking at is the 3 interceptions against Indy, the 2 against Detroit, 2 more against Atlanta. So very highly turnover prone. It's definitely a better spot last week. Like I said, almost 40 dropbacks, because obviously when you had Dallas last week, as you can see, this is what I mean by having a controlled, pretty much basic offense. DeVito only dropped back 27 times. He didn't even get to 30. So they fed it to Saquon. There was a lot of short passes. It was a controlled offense. They played it safe. They completely played it safe. No risk. Literally only throw it to the open guy. If there was anybody near him, if there was a white shirt next to any blue shirt in that game, he wasn't throwing the ball. So 27 attempts, and as you can see, Bryce Young, you're more than likely, in this case, if you see this example, 27 chances of getting sacks and interceptions. If with Bryce Young, you're probably looking at 27, you're possibly looking at adding 7 to 10 more chances, and that's what you're going to want with the Dallas defense. You're going to get more chances. You didn't get many chances to get the turnovers last week. With Bryce Young, you will. So don't be too afraid. If you're a little gun shy, you don't have to be as heavy as I was. Once again, in the 25 max, I think I got the Dallas 11, maybe 12 times. Everything else was either Steelers, Packers, and I forgot the other defense I got to, but almost half of my 25 max was Dallas defense. So, sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's but this is a week that I definitely do like the defense to score some points as we keep going down. The Buffalo Bills against the Jets. Hey, the Bills are struggling, but the Bills defense can still have the ability to turn over Zach Wilson. They're still a play. If you like them at home against a bad Jets offense, I mean, and you do have the same upside with Wilson, so you could save 4,800 if you like the fact that Buffalo's at home, Dallas is on the road. Uh, and then as we speak about the Giants, Washington, but Washington is only up there because of the matchup, because of how bad the Giants are. Like I said, Chase Young, Montez Sweat is gone, so that defense is really basically stripped down to nothing, and a bunch of young guys trying to prove themselves. So if you're looking for some type of upside, I don't know where you're really gonna get it from. But last week, they gave up 29 points and only managed one sack on the road at Seattle, so they finished with a zero. Uh, I mean, they're only up. I mean, I would not be. It's still worth a risk. It would be better if they were a little cheaper, obviously, but the Redskins defense is horrible. FanDuel only put them there because they're going against the worst offense in the league. That's the only reason why they're there. Other than that, I mean, it's worth a chance to get a little different, but they're gonna garner some ownership because you're going against the worst offense. The Cleveland defense at home against Pittsburgh, that'll be a good pick at 45. You always gotta love Detroit at home, even though Justin Fields is looking like he's gonna return. But the Lions are defense, like Seattle's defense, they just perform better at home, and more than likely they can turn over Justin Fields, who also as well is turnover prone at 4,400. Uh, Jacksonville also at home against Tennessee's rookie. If they somehow shut down and which what you need to gun for, you need to gang up on King Henry and make the young kid throw. Maybe they'll force him to pass and get chances to get some interceptions. Jacksonville at home, another home defense with a good spot, 4,300. Miami at home against Las Vegas, 4,200. Las Vegas goes there with their new coach, Antonio Pierce, former Giant linebacker, riding that 2-game winning streak. Seattle at Los Angeles. Matthew Stafford should be okay, I think, for this game. So you always have the potential for that pick six once again. I think I've said it before. Since 2018 or 2019, he leads all active or qualifying quarterbacks with the most pick sixes, I think, since 2018 or 2019. Other good plays, I like San Francisco at home. That is right now. That's right there. Obviously, I like to always give a under 4,000, like a 3,000 up, but 4,000 against Tampa Bay. I'm not one of those that felt like there was anything wrong. Hey, anybody could jump into a slump. That San Francisco defense will be at home, and I think they could get Baker Mayfield some pressure, and I also think they could get to Baker Mayfield because he's another turnover prone quarterback. That's like my favorite, like low priced. I mean, they're mid priced technically, but 4,000. San Francisco at home against Baker. I definitely like that. And then if you want to continue, I mean, if you want to take that risk, the Jet defense against a turnover prone Josh Allen. I almost don't want to really talk about the Bills because it was a horseshit move of them firing Ken Dorsey. Once again, the Ken Dorsey can't control. Ken Dorsey can't control Josh Allen's interceptions. Josh Allen also misplaced that handoff with Cook. I said Dalvin Cook. With Cook, his brother. In the third, it was pretty much a horseshit move. I almost don't really want to talk about them in this slate. If you want Bills information, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to make a stand though. Tough shit. go to another stream. Any Buffalo Bills fans, uh, hey, it's my channel. Too fucking bad. It was a horse shit move and a scapegoat move, and I mean the only sucks that Dorsey gets fired before Thanksgiving, going into the holidays. But these guys, make good money. Contract, they'll get bought out of the contract, I guess, however that goes. But yes, it was a scapegoat horseshit move. What the Buffalo organization did, and that's the reason why I hope the Jets do what they did week one. More than likely, the offense is looking worse than it did back then, so it looks like a victory for the Bills. But with that case, I honestly hope that the Bills don't make the playoffs. Sorry to get off a little context, but we'll get back to the slate preview. But yes, horse shit move. And yeah, that's my feelings on it. So as we keep going on, let's see here. When it comes to low paying defenses, I really don't like nothing down this low. I think the lowest that I possibly might go if I wanted to, because like I said, we are looking for fantasy points. So Jets would be the lowest I would go, but I'm sorry. Feeling comfortable with it, I guess you could go Green Bay too. Green Bay at home, 37. But I kinda like, and I guess you could say the Rams as well. Because it looks like Geno's turned right back into the pumpkin he was a couple of years ago. He's struggling. I think the Rams could turn him over, whatever. But Geno's been pretty good with the ball or whatever. But you're hoping for the Rams to maybe get an interception here, a few sacks in the fourth round for 38. But I'm sorry, the most comfortable I actually feel like going this week, guys, is 4,000. I really can't suggest a 3,000. But once again, if you make me give you a 3,000, we're sticking between 3,900 and 3,700. That's the lowest I'm going. So it'll be Jets. It'll be Jets and Packers. And off the fact, like I said, Bills love to run. Like I said, that Jet defense is tough to run against. They can't be stout against the run, so it's gonna make him fall back. And hey, he has the tendency to at least throw to and then get sacked or get the strip sack fumble. 3,700. I don't see any pick sixes or anything like that from the Jets. I mean, they're capable of it, but without a pick six, I could still see a 3,700 Jet team give it anywhere from 8 to 11 points. It is possible against Buffalo. And like I said, the Rams at home against a somewhat struggling Geno. I mean, like I said, it's not the prettiest thing to watch with Seattle, but Los Angeles Rams, 38. Yeah, so if you maybe pick we'll stick with that range. 38, 37, and 37. Rams, Packers, Jets. I like those defenses right there. I'm not going no lower though. I've been able to pick like a 33 or 34 or $3,500. No, I think this is I can't go that far this week. Not this week at all. That's not happening. I guess let's go back to the QBs. I don't know who that first guy is, so we'll go to the second. Here we go. We got Justin Herbert at home. Not the best matchup, but like I said, it's still a talented Los Angeles Chargers team, even with the injuries. So Justin Herbert will always be worth a look. Carolina surprisingly does have a somewhat okay defense. I can see Dallas on the road coming out, laying the egg early, and then turning it on. But Dak is still a good play. Probably the most popular play at home in Los Angeles. Now, Los Angeles has been playing well the first two games, but once again, they went back to back against both New York teams. So. And what's the thing? Miami against the good teams, they either show up and lose or don't show up at all and lose. But when it comes to the bad teams, they're whooping their ass easy. So, Tua stacks will be popular. CJ Stroud has finally hit the 8,000 mark. That game is going to be interesting. I think that's going to be it's probably my favorite game of the day. But if not, I'll have to really look at the schedule again. But I think that's my favorite game of the day. And if not, to me, it is the most fun game at 1 o'clock. That game should be good, especially with Kyler Murray back. Golf at 79 with a great home match. Like I said, Detroit just plays so great at home. They're so fun to watch. That crowd is just amazing. Those games are really fun to watch when they're at home. Sam Howell has the potential to break one off. The stacks with him are going to be interesting against the Giants. Plus at home, his running ability. It's going to be interesting to see what his percentages are. The Tua stacks going to be popular. If people haven't been paying attention now, the C.J. Stroud stacks will be popular. Dak against Carolina, because that also has another blowout potential as well. But Sam Howell's going to be interesting. Like I said, Kyler Murray in that Houston game at 76. He looked amazing. Now, of course, he didn't have an amazing game, but I'm just talking about how fast he looked when he scrambled, how smooth he looked when he slid. Throwing the ball, he looked comfortable in the pocket. I love Kyler Murray, that fact that he's back. Definitely one of my favorite fantasy players. He was me personally, when I first started playing Fan Duel, he was part of one of my first, private league wins. And, one of the first times, I actually cast on a full slate one time. Remember back in those days when Fan Duel used to have slates and they would go from Sunday all the way into Monday, one of those kind of slates. I'm probably going back a little bit too far, but I had a decent lineup in a private league, and the first time that I cast, going in on a Monday night, I had Kyler Murray. I think I was about 30 something, close to 40 points out. And then going into the Monday night game, I had Kyler Murray with Christian Kirk, or rookie Christian Kirk, and DeAndre Hopkins. And there was a few plays going on that kept inching me up. I had a double stack, and the play that put me over the edge was I think if I remember probably, it was like a 46 or 50 something yard streak down the middle. Kirk out the slot. I'll never forget the play. And all those yards with the TD pass and the TD catch. And hey, I knew what stack it was from there on out. Brock Purdy. The run defense might give McCaffrey trouble, but it still won't give Brock Purdy trouble catching him in the flat or him cutting in the middle. Plus with Debo and his hooking up with Ayuk has been amazing. I love Brock Purdy's opportunity. Once again, Justin Fields seems to be working his way back. I don't think there will be any setbacks, so he should be there on the road. That run upside is always something to look at. That run upside is always something to look at, especially against Detroit. Like I said, they play better at home, but they do have the capability to be a bit of a fantasy carnival every now and then. As we scroll further down, Deshaun's on IR with the shoulder surgery. So if you're looking for cheap stacks, I think they have him. Where is he? He should be it. There you go. You want to talk about a cheap stack? PJ Walker, home against Pittsburgh, 6,100. Hey, that kind of price, he's worth taking a shot. I'll get to him just for the hell of it. Why not? He has the scrambling ability. If he could find Amari Cooper for some decent, if he has a simple 150 to 186 yards, and let's say he throws a touchdown and an interception, maybe runs a little bit, he clears his value. Especially if he hits the wide receiver that you got, and then he's good to go. He has to be in play. I won't play him in single entry, but if you're playing anything else, as you can see there, when he gets the opportunity, 12.62. If he just does that, of course, you don't need the 2 interceptions, but 248. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and then 6 rushes for 27 yards. If he keeps it easy on the turnovers, because he also fumbled that game too, 12.62. So he 2x'd his salary then. PJ Walker now, hopefully if, he scrambles and leaves the turnovers alone, the 12.62 can easily become a 16 point something. Obviously, you want him to boom. What you would love for him to get to 1962 or at least 20. But if he can at least give you a 16, 17 to 18, then that means either or he hooked up with Elijah Moore, Njoku, or more like Amari Cooper. If you have that stack, hey, the rest of your Sunday is looking really good. But at that price, he's definitely worth a shot. And when I say worth a shot, MME, I would say for me in a 25 max, I'll get to 1 to 3 of them at least. But he has to at least be in the 25 max at least one time. You'll be able to do a whole lot. And if you don't pay up for defense, and let's say you go with the $4,000 defense that I like, man, your savings will be amazing. Per player should look real good if you do that. Matter of fact, let's see what that looks like. If you go PJ Walker, and we'll just go simple. Let's just say let's just keep it simple. Let's not even double stack. A 73 Amari Cooper, right? And you're not paying up for Dallas. And let's say you take my advice and you go, where are they? They should be coming up soon. There we go. And you go San Francisco 49ers. If you do that, the rest of your lineup is $71,000 per player. Obviously, Elijah Moore, cheaper. David Njoku, cheaper. So if you go with those guys, you're probably looking at 75, 76 per player after picking three people. We'll look at the rest of the quarterbacks. Like I said, Trevor Lawrence, look for his pass. If he gets shut down by a strong run by Tennessee shutting down ETN, look for him to pass the ETN more and look for more pass volume with Trevor Lawrence. Like I said, that's a pretty balanced offense. ETN's the workhorse, but Trevor Lawrence, he's going to have the chances to gun it down the field. So I would not worry about him not being able to gun it down the field. Floor of attempts is 30s, and then he has a high of 42 this year. So I definitely like Trevor Lawrence in a nice spot at home against Tennessee pass funnel. What else? What else do I like here? Matthew Stafford on the way back. Hey, with Stafford back, you're gonna like picking Cooper Kupp with a healthy thumb. And after that, I think I'm gonna leave it there. I think I will leave it there. Let's go to running back. Like I said, Christian McCaffrey might have a hard time on the ground, but he should get it through the air. Actually, my favorite running back this week is Austin Ekeler. He should be able to do it both ways against Green Bay, running and passing. That run defense has always been suspect, as you've heard me say before. You probably heard other people on other channels talk about that. Austin Ekeler at 8,800 is a steal. He should be 9,000 just for the hell of it. He should be. With this matchup this week, he should be 9,000. Jahmyr Gibbs, 8,400 at home against Chicago. Like I said, Travis Etienne, he's probably a better. If the Tennessee defense, as I said, stifle him, I'll be a little, and that's what I think is going to happen. I'm going to be a little light on Etienne. Etienne is probably going to be a great play on DraftKings when you do the analyzation, because if he gets shut down and he needs the touches and that run game is not going nowhere, and he has and they try to stick with it, he has 14 for anywhere for 39 to 56 yards. Yeah, that's pretty decent, but they're looking for that one explosion. I think they can at least give him an extra 2 to 3 touches out the backfield. But without tapping, I'm pretty sure Etienne is always getting at least 3 targets or 4 targets and getting 3 receptions. If you look at this, look at the receptions. Targets 4, 6, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. And then we look at the receptions, 5, 2, 4, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2. So he's not getting the Ekeler, Kamara, Rashad White receiving value, but expect those numbers to go up. But sad to say, he's a better. And if what I say is game scripted in that sense of him getting more passes towards the second half with Jacksonville City, they can't run the ball, then yeah, off his receptions, instead of getting just 3 to 4 points off the receptions, I really think he can get 6 to 7 points, and then it's just all up to him what he can do after the catch. You gotta watch out for these two, Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert, literally $200 a piece off. Devon Achane's scheduled to come back this week. It's just a case of, are there any setbacks during practices? David Montgomery, along with Jahmyr Gibbs, two-headed monster, he'll be home. I think he'll definitely be motivated against his former team. at 77. Obviously, with the price gap between the two, definitely look for uh, David Montgomery to be more popularly owned. So if you want to neutralize that and go, what is he? A full 700? Yeah, he's a full $700 ahead. So I'll be looking to get more Jahmyr Gibbs and GPPs. Because when it comes to two running backs being able to do what they can at will on the field with their skill set and a good matchup, the guy who's priced lower will be the guy that will be owned more. So look for me to do my best to try and fit in Gibbs. Saquon Barkley against Washington. He's just going to get a workload against a really good matchup. Once again, that front seven is no longer what it is that I used to say. Now that defense is just a young defense. So as long as that angle doesn't give Barkley and that Q tag designation goes off by Friday, I'd say all systems go with Saquon. Josh Jacobs is a good fantasy play this week at 7,300. I think it's a nice price. I think he's a little bit underpriced. He should be 75, 77 because the Dolphins defense, the front seven, they do give up gashes in the run game. Josh Jacobs is a big part of that. Plus with screen passes, I think he can definitely get that. Like it's very rare he doesn't get over 20 carries, and if it's not, it's in the high teens. And he does get, as you can see right there, gets targeted heavy in the running game. So what you're going to want to do is definitely take a look at Josh Jacobs. If you can't pay up for two running backs, right there you're probably looking at a Josh Jacobs or you're looking at a 7,600 Saquon. I like Brian Robinson Jr. against the Giants defense. He looks like a great pick. Brees Hall, always a threat for a long run. Aaron Jones is looking like a solid pick as long as he doesn't have any setbacks. But that front seven of Los Angeles, yes, Los Angeles has the tendency to not stop anybody. But Los Angeles defense does have the ability to come up with some of these big games. I understand that he's going up against a 28th ranked opponent, but I don't think the Chargers defense is that bad. Yes, they gave up a lot last week, but that's one of the few times they've been in the fantasy carnival all year, except for the other game with the Chiefs. Other than that, that Chargers defense is not as bad as rating seems to be. Hey, man, this guy right here, a lot of people are thinking like, hey, if I couldn't get a touchdown last week and they scored 40-something, he didn't do anything. Like, what are we doing here? Tony Pollard, like Bijan, took a dip way down. And Bijan got down to 66. Pollard's at 69. Bijan finally got his touchdown last week, but Bijan's not on the slate. The Falcons on the bye. If people were like, man, I don't know what to do, I'm never picking him again. If he doesn't get one against Carolina, then I can really start understanding. Like I said, this is fantasy. This is GPPs. This could be his week. You just don't want. That's the thing about fantasy. You just don't want eventually the week where, okay, I'm not touching him, blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden he has like almost 20 carries with 4 or 5 receptions for like 30 to mid 50s in yards and gets 2 touchdowns while running for 136, and then you miss out that week. But what a fall from grace down to 6,900. I think another bad week. He's going to be another bad week. He might drop lower than what Bijan was last week when Bijan was 66. James Conner, he's another running back that I love, plus a great price, not even at 7,000, at 6,800 against a somewhat improving run defense. Houston doesn't seem to be the run funnel. Run funnel means pretty much that term of like, yo, you're just going to go and get it. You're just going to go get it. But like I said, I love the way James Conner runs the box with the front seven and with the 4 linemen. And with the linebacker, should be a bit more spread out now with the threat of Murray. So I think that helps Connor out a lot. The only thing, without even looking at stats, I did pay attention to that game. The only thing that I didn't like about James Conner, which I was highly surprised, Kyler Murray never looked for him out the backfield. James Conner is one of the best dual threat running backs in the league to me. I mean, well, okay, not one of the best, but he's one of those running backs that has the capability of doing both. He can get 16 to 18, close to 20 touches, and he'll still get 7 touches out. He'll still get anywhere from 4 to 7 targets. So, James Conner is definitely a good play. This slate has a lot of great plays. There's a lot of ways to go, a lot of good games. I'm really excited about this week. As we keep going down, Jerome Ford along with Kareem Hunt. They're both good plays at 63 and 67. They're going to need to run the ball. They're not going to let PJ Walker loft that 35 to 38 times. They're going to do their best to have the defense try to have the defense in the running game control the game and make Walker pick his spots. But right now, it definitely seems like Jerome Ford is getting more of the opportunity. Najee Harris has found his streak, but he has a tough matchup. You know, me and my boy Rashad White, not the best matchup, but, once again, Rashad White value. Fantasy, you score points for opportunity. Rashad White, it's his backfield. You know I love this kid this year. Oh God, he gotten his overs, unders on prospects all year. He's definitely worth a flyer. I think his ownership will be pretty low this week because of that matchup. Devin Singletary, you just gotta watch out for him because you have to wait to see if Damian Pierce comes back from that ankle. Damian Pierce, I think, was in limited practice the other day. He's missed the last 2 weeks. According to this, he still isn't practicing. Maybe they're letting him rest and doing some individual workouts in the facility. But if he's not there, if Damian Pierce is not in at 59, I'm definitely gonna go back. I'll definitely go back to Devin Singletary because it's a better matchup. Like I said, 2 weeks ago, I have no idea what the hell people were doing, talking about it was a good matchup against Tampa Bay. No, it was not. 6,500, I'll still play Devin Singletary. James Cook against the Jets, I guess you could go there. You also might want to look A.J. Dillon, who had a solid week. I think he had like 10 for 58 with a touchdown. I think he stole a touchdown last week as well, if I'm not mistaken. He was looking good when I remember looking over some stats. He ended up 90 for 70, and he got 3 targets out the backfield. So he had kind of like a Aaron Jones, but playing the backup role kind of game. As we keep going down here, it will be interesting to see if he plays. If Antonio Gibson is out, best believe Brian Robinson is a must. Even though they don't throw it to Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson's mainly the running back that's the pass catching back, Brian Robinson has shown the ability to do both. So if Antonio Gibson is out with that toe, best believe you need to jump on Brian Robinson real fast. And not just jump on him, be over the way on the field on him. Because running and catching, he gets it. If he's not getting 2 to 4 targets, he'll boom out and get that, nice long screen pass when he got against Seattle. Like I said, Sam Howell he'll get his progressions, but the one thing you gotta lie about Sam Howell will get it to his running backs. And when he got it to Brian Robinson, it was more like, it wasn't even like out in the flat. Like Brian Robinson was actually running a screen pass and he hit him with the wheel part of the screen pass on the sideline. So just be wary of that. As we keep going down, there was Aaron Jones, as mentioned earlier, there was Tony Pollard, Deontay Foreman. We're going to keep scrolling down here, and I think that's about it. After that, I'm not really looking at anything else. No, there's absolutely nothing here. I mean, I did it last week, and it somewhat paid off. But if that Dallas Cowboy... Look, I'll do this if, like, whatever you're subscribed to is, like, predicting a lot of ownership. If Pollard is somehow popular again, best believe that I'm going to play to the fact in which he does get burned. He does get carries when it's still a close game to relieve him, because sometimes after a long drive, they'll give him 1 or 2 opportunities or at least 1 to 2 snaps in the red zone. So that's pretty big for Ricky Dowdle at 5,000. Like I said, it's all about opportunity. And when he gets there, he gets there. So let's get to wide receivers and wrap this up soon with wideouts and tight ends. We spoke about Amari Cooper already. Once again, top dogs. Oh, crap. What did I do here? Oh, crap. All right. Okay, I got it. Okay, so Tyreek Hill. Shout out to Lucky on that one. Tyreek Hill, always a great play. 9,800. He has his days where he should be 10.7, to be honest. Keenan Allen. I mean, he's the main guy there. Tough matchup against Green Bay because they do defend the pass really well. They do. CeeDee Lamb is pretty much the hottest wide receiver in the league right now. If you think differently, if you think it's Amon-Ra St. Brown, yeah, Amon-Ra don't have these numbers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But ever since October 16th, look at these numbers. 3 touchdowns and damn near what? Six. That's what damn near. That's damn near over 500, half a thousand yards in passing. So it looks like Dak and CeeDee Lamb have gone to a next level of chemistry amongst themselves. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 8,900. Other top plays. I like Cup against Seattle. I will be getting the Cooper Cup. 8,200 against Seattle. Yeah. Yes, please. Definitely a yes, please. Ayuk again. I love the San Francisco. I love them all. I love the San Francisco wide receiver core. They're going to get the pass funnel. Ayuk has been the guy that, well, more importantly, he's been healthy, but he's been more the guy that's been getting those looks. As you can see, look at the targets from the beginning of the season: 8, 6, 6, 7, 10, 6, 9, and then 3 in the Jacksonville blowout. Brandon Ayuk, yes. Deebo Samuel is a priority to me as well. Puka Nacua, 7,500, still nursing a knee injury, I think. And yes, it's a knee, limited on practice Wednesday. So definitely look for him. Like I said, look for projections or whatever. Are you gonna do the? Oh, hey man, I know it's not gonna be too popular. People are gonna one-off Cup. Let me just join Matt Stafford into the crew. I think that's what you should do. I think Cup might still be popular, but not people going to want to have Stafford. So make sure you stack those guys. And if you definitely want to get different, definitely join it with Puka Nacua. Like I said, Amari Cooper with a nice matchup against Pittsburgh's defense. Like I said, the Houston guys all damn near all together now. 72 for Deco. They go Jalen Waddle at 71 now against the Raiders. But we have Debo. Then you have Debo from San Francisco that I was talking about, and he's a nice 71. They only raised them up $100. Oh, by the way, there was one thing I did notice. A lot of prices did not really change. A lot of guys are either the same or only went up $100 to $200 unless they drastically put them up on purpose because of the matchup that they had, a.k.a. like the Dallas Cowboys. Tech Dell at 7,000. So, the Stroud stacks are still two wide receivers just still under, 18,000 because he's at 8. No. You're still under 17,000. So the wide receivers are still cheap. But if they have a great game this week, oh yeah, you'll have to single stack and maybe run it back, or single stack and just go somewhere else. There goes Lockett, had a nice game last week. I had quite a bit of him. There goes Christian Kirk. Look for him and the other two wideouts to absolutely get the opportunity, along with Evan Ingram, and just torch that horrific playing defensive secondary. DJ Moore. If Justin Fields comes back, definitely like me some DJ Moore. Terry McLaurin against the Jets. But my favorite Washington Redskin should be coming up soon. At least I hope. Yeah, I like Curtis Samuel. I'm just got to monitor that injury. Curtis Samuel runs routes. He gets gadgeted kind of like in a Debo kind of fashion. So as long as that toe doesn't shred him and scratch him or whatever, he's definitely going to get it. Because as you can see, when he plays, he gets the opportunity to do what he wants. And like I said, because he's a wide receiver, these cover the basis of him just running. Just passing. So the opportunity is there. And I think against the Giants, you're going to have to take that chance. When they were at New York, 8 targets, but only for 4 for 25. But like I said, it's a different Sam Howell now. He's another one that I like in the low to mid-tier range. As we get back up, because I was trying to look for some things. Like I said, he's somebody that I'm looking forward to picking. Calvin Ridley, with all the talent, must be frustrating for the last couple of weeks not being able to get any real fantasy burn. But let me tell you something. He plays to his strength, and like the Miami Dolphins, beats up on his weaknesses. When he plays a bad Indianapolis pass defense, 11 for 8, 101 on the touchdown, 20 points. KC, whose defense is amazing, he drops to 4.2. Houston's pass defense, I said they're a run funnel, But they defend the pass really, really well. With a 5.5, he only had 40 yards, but still gets 7 targets. The Atlanta game, he scored a touchdown that saved his day, but only went for 2 for 38. Buffalo, the pass defense, got 8 for 1 for the 7 for 122, 17.1. Go ahead. And then with this matchup right here with Indianapolis, another 8 targets, but only 4.6. But as you can see, when he does go up against a tougher defense, the numbers and the when he does have the opportunity to go against a weaker pass defense, he does show up. And I like the opportunity here. As you can see, Pittsburgh 6 for 83. Tough defense, tough pass defense. They put the number 1 guy on him. I remember that Saints game. And did I have a prop on him? I think that Saints game, I think I had him on Prize Picks and he didn't do anything. I think I had him. There was something about that game I remember about Calvin Ridley. But Sean Lattimore literally shut him down. Like, he got a pass. He caught a short, quick pass early. And then after that, he was just locked down. Against the better defenses, they put their number 1 quarterback on him. While Kirk and Ingram, and back then when he was healthy, Zay Jones or whatever the case was, they'll be able to run free. But against the weaker pass defenses, Calvin Ridley is somebody that I will make sure I am over the field on. That's just me personally. He has the talent, and this is the matchup that he can take advantage. And once again, in the game script against Tennessee, if they stifle Etienne, they don't throw it to him that much. Etienne, like I said, I showed you before, he's normally a 4 to 5 target guy, 3 receptions. That will make Trevor Lawrence drop back more opportunities for Ridley to get deep. Do not rule out Calvin Ridley. I think he's one of those guys that's going to come in low owned because of how inconsistent he is. And when his games are bad, they're real bad. It's easy to forget him. This week, he's probably had more pop. Here's the thing. Sometimes when you look at a slate, he probably a player that you think is going to have a good week, but comes in low owned. Here's the reason why he probably comes in low owned. Because he either has 3 or 4 wide receivers, running backs, or whatever the case is, 3 or 4 players ahead of him that you might like around his price point, or you're like, hey, I don't even think he's worth this much. Why not I go down $300 to $400 and find something better? So pertaining to this week, Calvin Ridley, 65. He's right in the middle. So you know what? Let's go up for 66 to 7,000. And if you don't like Calvin Ridley, let's say I'm gonna I think I could find $500. Who else can I get to? Well, Marquise Brown is in a great matchup against Houston. You got DeAndre Hopkins, Terry McLaurin against the Giants, DJ Moore. You got Christian Kirk. And so I named 3 guys before we got to 7,000. Now let's go under him. You can get to Romeo Dobbs and a low price Quentin Johnson, and then you know you're gonna want to get to Noah Brown, or really Romeo Dobbs and Noah Brown more than likely. And then if you can find the 500 to lose, you can either go to Jaden Reed, and like I said, he's probably going to be the Washington Redskins wide receiver that I get to, and he doesn't even have to be in stacks. If I need something cheap to, relieve some salary but have some good upside, as long as he plays, I like Curtis Samuel. As we keep going down, like I said, we have Elijah Moore. Has the potential. Like I said, the offense hasn't been all that, but now that they know that it's going to be all about PJ Walker, hey, maybe you get a little repetition and everything. And like I said, Elijah Moore will dig his way in with some deep routes. Look for Josh Reynolds. I think that's a GPP play. Josh Reynolds is somebody that you're just looking for somebody to look. You're just hoping for him to take it over the top on the defense. Like I said, he's been there, 4 for 76 and a touchdown, 5 for 66, 2 touchdowns. After that, doesn't really do much, but he's always somebody that's worth, a GPP play here and there. Michael Gallup against Dallas. If the game gets out of hand, there goes Zay Jones. He's questionable with a knee. Last I heard, he wasn't really. Yeah, he wasn't trending to play this week. I think Zay Jones should be out this week. Last I saw update. I saw update on Monday, and it didn't seem. They already seemed like he wasn't going to play. But obviously, you got to let him get through some practices, the limited ones, and then see what he officially becomes starting Friday. You can look at Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson is a cheap GPP play. He got 6 targets from Kyler Murray last week. Where else Where else could we go? Where else? Yeah, Kyle Phillips, Dewami Brown, Hunter Renfro. Especially if Robert Woods somehow doesn't make it. Let's say if he re-aggravated something, but Robert Woods did look kind of spry and made some key catches in that Cincinnati game last week. He's a nice option at 51. And that's another thing. This is somebody that you should at least take a shot at. Definitely one of his best looking games this year. 8 targets, 5 for 43. At least Kyler Murray got it to him. Not behind the line, but in front of the line. That's a start. But with a healthy Kyler Murray, Rondale Moore's upside just gets better and better. So don't forget, he's another GPP play. 4,900 Rondale Moore. And we're gonna finish this off at tight end. I love George Kittle. Like I said, all the wide receivers, anybody receiving the ball, I love on San Francisco with the pass funnel. I like the fact that George Kittle has the opportunity to go deep against any of the Tampa Bay linebackers. So he's somebody that I'm going to look at. You always can never forget about Schultz. My favorite tight end this year is Sam Laporta going against Chicago. That's my top choice. But if you maybe pick a number 2, I will pay up for Kittle. Paying up for tight end is not bad. $7,000 is not something price hindering. There's decent wide receivers that are that price. So no Andrews, no Kittle. Why not? And no Hawkinson. Hawkinson's on the Sunday night game, and I can't wait to play that single game either against the Broncos. So Sam Laporta, George Kittle, my favorites. Other key tight end, Jake Ferguson, although he does have a good match. That's one of the few things Carolina does when they do guard the tight end well. McBride, his upside is just looking great. He's probably going to be projected the highest, especially now with Kyler Murray back, going against a team that's bottom 7 in the league, guarding the tight end. You can never forget Dalton Kincaid. He just demands so many targets from Josh. What's his name again? Okay. Evan Ingram. You got Cole Kmet. Detroit doesn't guard the tight end well, so he's also in play. Like I said, Njoku, Logan Thomas against Washington. Musgrave is definitely somebody in play. He is definitely somebody that Jordan Love looks to, and he's going against one of those bottom 7. And I think if you want to be there, LA is probably one of the bottom. LA is probably bottom. Pass rank, but position rank, they're bottom 4. They're bottom 4 overall. If we want to take a look at the game log, he's always in script. Especially when he gets to the red zone. I'm not saying he gets the goal line looks, but you do see him get some of those 10 to 17 yard TD strikes or whatever the case is, or TD opportunities. The targets are pretty consistent. You're looking at a median of 4. His boom so far this year is 7-8. So what? Next week, if he does look good, because some of those wide receivers for Green Bay are emerging, Reed, Dobbs, and Christian Watson. So, Luke is there to pick up the scraps on top of what screen passes Aaron Jones and, as you can see last week, what Dylan gets. So, if you ask me, even though his high is 7-8, I think what you're looking at as a boom for targets would be 6. So 6 targets against a bad guarded team. 6 targets should relate to 4 or 5 receptions. It's just a case of what does he do with those receptions. And as we keep going down here, Cade Otton against San Francisco. Like I said, Baker is looking for him. The consistency is building between these two. It's kind of like it's really kind of like a Kincaid, like a low budget Kincaid, Josh Allen esque hookup with these two or whatever. He's always getting goal line looks. He gets decent targets. It's always part of the offense. He's definitely something solid. Definitely something solid to pick. Tyler Conklin. He's I don't know. He's just consistent. Like I just like Tyler Conklin. I picked him a couple times for cash games and stuff like that, and he's just as bad as the offense is. It works for him because I don't think he's been over 5,200 all year because of how bad the offense is. But Zach Wilson is going to continue to look for him. As long as Zach Wilson's the quarterback, then yeah, you got to keep going to him. You just got to hope that maybe one day he could turn all that opportunity, because he does. He barely drops them or barely gets missed. And he has decent games. For 4,800, he has an 8.7, 7.8, 7.5, 10.5. And he does this without getting a touchdown on a bad defense. This is somebody that I like a lot. Tyler Conklin is definitely somebody that I like. And I think that wraps it all up, guys. So that is the preview. I don't think I'm forgetting really anybody else. Oh, you got Okongwu, Joe Everett. Like I said, I think that's as far as I'm going, guys. So yeah, I could definitely end this episode. But I hope you guys liked the video. Week 11 preview is in the books. A follow-up Prize Picks video will be coming out soon, more than likely tomorrow. And hey, good luck building the lineups and getting your research done. Please check the channel to see what my Prize Pick grade A picks were. And yeah, good luck this week and this week 11. It looks like a lot of fun. So good luck. And this is Grade A Fantasy. Best of luck with the research. And I'm signing off.